welcome back, and today I want to talk to you about books I read this winter. So, let's start from December. I've read 2 books, and first of them was Alright's Result. I've started this book while during try chapter, book tag challenge, and I really enjoyed that specific book and decided to finish it, so I did it in December. As I remember, this is part of a series, so I'll probably try to read another one. I think that book has some issues. One storyline about the main character's sister was underdeveloped, and the author missed really good potential in it. And overall, I really loved first half of the book, but then I didn't really like how the stuff was going on. I think at some moments was just too fast, and it didn't feel natural because of that. So yeah, but I still am going to continue with this book series. Also, if you are going to read the series, don't read the synopsis of the second book unless you want to spoil yourself, because usually I'm not afraid of spoilers, but that was the first time when I just decided to read the synopsis of the second book, and from the first sentence it's like blow me away. It wasn't the stuff I was expecting. I definitely didn't want it to happen. So yeah, and I was in the middle of the book somewhere, so I was quite nervous while continue reading it. Yeah. In December I read this comic book. This is and I don't know how to name it in English. Should prepare better. Do they have an English title? I think they don't. Great job. Yes, they don't have any original titles nowhere. But yes, this is Star Wars comic book. This is the first in the series about Luke, Leia, and Han fighting with Darth Vader. So I guess it should be in the timeline. It should be somewhere between either between the 4th and the 5th movie, or between the 5th and the 6th. I was watching movies quite a long time ago, and I'm not sure, but yeah, I was wanting to read some Star Wars comic book for a long time, but this is a huge universe and there's a lot of comic book. I was quite afraid of starting because I don't know where to start, but I was in a bookstore and I see this one, and actually some other people recommended this to me, saying that yes, this is actually beginning of this one storyline from point of view of these characters. So it's a good place to start, at least reading this part of the story. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I need to buy next one because it's only part 1. So this was everything I read in December. Then in January I was participating in Tom Infinity and Beyond readathon, and basically everything I've read in January, it was for that readathon. So I will just name the books here, and if you want to listen about my experience after reading the books, you can go and watch my wrap-up for the readathon, because I didn't want to repeat myself. So, first of the books I read in January was Brave New Girl by Rachel Vincent. It's also part of the series, and yeah, I'm going to read the second part somewhere this year. And I really wanna make separate book review for this series also somewhere this year when I will have time to structure my notes. And I read Inhabited Island by Arkady by Strugatsky. I don't have my physical copy with me because I left it in my parents' home, but yeah, it's quite a chunky book. Wasn't a good selection for how to say that? For a readathon, but it wasn't my winter TBR, so I've tried to squeeze as much books as I can into my readathon TBR, and I've managed to read it one, really enjoyed it. Next I have another comic book here. This is Back to Future comics. Also really enjoyed it, but I love Back to Future in general, and I have another comic book from this series. Then Yevgeny Zamyatin Also read it for the readathon. Also really enjoyed it. Really interesting dystopian. Also, after reading this book, I'm quite interested to read George Orwell's 1984 because some people was comparing this to that novel, and I've heard that Orwell was inspired by that novel while reading his. So yeah, I'm quite curious because I haven't read 1984. There was some period in my life, like 2 years ago, when everyone was reading 1984. It was extremely popular. I don't know why. And I haven't read it, so I probably should. Also, I mentioned that book into my readers and wrap-up because I finished one short story from this collection to complete some challenges for readathon, but I haven't finished the whole book, so I'm continuing to read in it. It's not done yet. Herbert Wells' Tales of Space and Time, basically collection of short stories. It's just a reread for me but I was reading it in a different language before. Also in February I've started one poetry book, but I haven't finished it, and I have it at my parents' home also, so if I will finish it in somewhere later this year, I will show you in some wrap-ups, but for now I basically don't want to talk about it because for that part that I finished, I wasn't enjoying it like at all. It was pretty hard to read. Just the writing style was too hard. But this forms in the beginning of the books was like specifically written in a style that's like old language. So maybe that's why. Maybe other poems from the source would be better for me. I don't know. Will I continue reading the book? I bought it like 5 years ago and I still haven't read it. Yeah. But basically, the book I was reading in February was Vanishing and Voices, the Extinction of the World Languages. So this is a book for Political Progress Book Club. And yes, it's about different giant languages, like indigo languages of America, both Americas, about native languages of Australia, New Zealand, etc. Also touched a bit of about languages, about Celtic languages, so Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and Breton, yes, yeah. So really interesting non-fiction. I really enjoyed it. I've made quite a lot of notes. Not notes, like I was screenshotting a lot of stuff while reading this book. Reason why is I wanna make my separate book review. Will not be in time for the book club meeting, because meeting for book club should be on the 1st of March. I don't know, will it be like in the past for you when you're watching it or not? Probably it would be. I don't know when I will edit it. But yeah, in general, I think yeah, this book is really well structured, really great. There were some moments I didn't like in the first part of the book because it was repetitive in some moments. It's like my only complaint about this book. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I think it's great. Really want the structure of my notes and make a larger review. If you're interested in smaller languages and giant languages, I definitely recommend you to read it. It's really well written. I can't say that it's easy to read because the topic is quite hard, especially when also touches some economical issues, reasons for language dying, and some, how to say it, like talking about colonization of some territories. And it's the topic is hard. It's hard to read in terms of like you need to put this book away and just breathe a little bit. But in terms of writing style and understanding, it was written really easy, really well. For me, as a non-native English speaker, it's definitely a huge plus. So yeah, basically, I think that's everything. I wasn't making a huge progress. If I will be successful, I will participate in at least in 3 readathons and 1 book club during next 2 months. I don't know how I will manage that. Like, I have no idea, honestly. But yes, that's the plan.
Hi there, so this is Future Me, and actually I forgot to tell you about the book I DNFed this month. Basically I've started to read it like in January 2018. Yeah, I've read a bit of it and I've kind of dropped it, and I guess I've read like a few more chapters in May or April, and then I kind of dropped it again. It was just transferring from one TBR to another, and I was like, I kind of started, I need to finish it, but honestly I have no desire to finish this book. And this was Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. So what was my problem with this book? I've started to read because of sci-fi elements, and I knew that they was like really small, but it was even smaller than I expected. So honestly, this portal teleportation scene could be easily replaced with some other transport. Like, of course, it would take more time, not like instant traveling, but anyway, it all this problem with illegal immigration and military conflicts would be described without this element. It doesn't affect characters or settings in a huge way. It could be easily removed from the story. And the actual story was really character driven. If I would describe it, I would say this is about a young couple who came from very different backgrounds, and basically they're struggling with maintaining their relationship while world is falling apart and war happening and stuff. That's it. Like, there's no sci-fi in it, and I was struggling with the writing style a lot. Like, I was trying to read this book and I instantly was sleepy and I just cannot read it. And I wasn't connecting with characters a lot. And yeah, this is really character-driven story. So after all this time, like, I decided to be honest with myself. Like, I have no desire to finish this book. Besides the fact that, like, I've started it, so maybe I should. But I decided no. Like, it would be easier to DNF it. I've just transferred from TBR to TBR and making no progress with it, and I don't want to. And I have like so many books on my to be read, at least like in my notebooks. I think it's really close to 300 now. Like, actually, who cares if I don't finish one book I don't like? So yeah, if I would finish it, I would probably give it like 1 or 2 stars, because like it wasn't for me, not because it was like complete crap. It wasn't for me, and I wasn't enjoying reading it. Yeah, it was probably really emotional, but I think that's everything I wanted to say. Sorry. And yeah, now I can say goodbye for you, and thank you for watching this a little bit messy video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.